For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome and thank you for joining us. My name's Jamie Reeves. I own a commercial insurance training class called Elevated Success, and today I want to talk to you about my background and how it all began. As my followers know, I started out handling pre-litigated commercial cases and then opening my own agency, building it from the ground up. I became the person other agents called when they needed help understanding coverage, contracts, or claims. After seeing how many agents struggle with commercial insurance simply because they were never properly trained, I created an online commercial training class to change that. On this channel, I'll be sharing stories, lessons, and insights that shape me so you can protect your clients before a claim ever happens. So let's get started. I began my career in fast-track claims, eventually working my way up to handling commercial pre-litigated claims for a large insurance carrier. I handled injury claims and worked closely with some of Florida's largest defense firms. What many people don't realize is that commercial insurance claims often involve multiple parties. My role required not only determining liability, but determining which policy applied first, often governed by policy language such as primary and non-contributory language, and ensuring that all necessary parties were included on the release once a claim is settled. In some cases, I had to evaluate whether subrogation applied. The process always began with a coverage investigation. So I would have to ask questions like, was the policy active? Did an exclusion apply? Were multiple policies triggered? And if so, which one's primary? Was the responsible party covered under the policy? Once coverage was established, I moved into the liability investigation, which was often far more complex than most people imagine. For example, I once had a fire loss where a resident at an apartment complex was injured when a poolside grill exploded. Determining liability required exploring multiple possibilities. Was it user error, maintenance failure, product defect, or installation error? Each scenario implicated a different party: the resident, the property owner, the maintenance contractor, the manufacturer, or the installer. This meant hiring experts, conducting lab tests to determine the cause, and coordinating schedules among multiple attorneys representing each party. After liability was determined, I evaluated the injury by reviewing medical records and bills, and then negotiated settlement. Once the negotiation was concluded, the claimant signed the release, which sometimes included additional insureds, and finally, the payment was issued. Finally, I assessed whether subrogation applied, and if so, forwarded the case to the subrogation department. When I left claims in 2020 to open my own agency, I quickly realized how invaluable my claims background was in selling commercial insurance. I understood how exclusions and endorsements could impact coverage, and I had real-world claims examples to help my clients appreciate the seriousness of a potential loss. This shifted their mindset from seeking the cheapest premium to prioritizing adequate protection. I also discovered how many agents lack the depth of knowledge required to properly sell commercial insurance. Too often, agents rely solely on what they learned in licensing class, which focuses narrowly on coverage. They miss critical concepts such as risk transfer, exclusions and endorsements, contract language, primary and non-contributory provisions, and the implications of additional insured status. In my first month, a contractor came to me for coverage for construction equipment. His lender insisted on a policy with PIP coverage, but no agent could place it. Because I had handled litigated PIP claims, I knew the statute well. Florida Statute 627.736 defines a motor vehicle for the purposes of PIP as a self-propelled vehicle with 4 or more wheels required to be licensed for highway use. Construction equipment doesn't meet this definition, so PIP coverage wasn't applicable. I explained this to the contractor and provided a statute for him to provide to his lender to get that requirement removed. Then I helped him secure an inland marine policy instead. That small policy led to multiple referrals from him, and it highlighted how other agents didn't think deeply about what coverage may or may not be necessary and what policy would best be fit for that risk. My next experience was with a dentist who approached me for a better rate on a business owner policy. After reviewing his policy, I discovered it was improperly structured. The dentist practice was listed as the property owner, even though the building was owned by a separate LLC and partially leased by another entity. I advised restructuring the policies. One bought for the LLC covering the property and the leaser's risk liability, and another for the dental practice covering the business personal property and liability for the dental operations. The dentist eventually moved all of his business to me. So recognizing a gap in industry knowledge, I developed a training program for agents that's both cost-effective and comprehensive. Unlike many continuing education courses or other training classes that simply rehash licensing material, my class provides in-depth coverage explanations, real-world claims examples, common exclusions and endorsements, risk transfer strategies, and guidance on 13 types of commercial insurance policies. It also goes over practical sales and prospecting techniques, filling out accord forms and COIs, and working with underwriters to secure the deal. This course is fully online, combining written material with video instruction, and it takes about 20 hours to complete. I encourage participants to take their time, as the content is dense and highly practical. So with 28 years experience, I don't claim to know everything. My goal is to share what I've learned to help raise industry standards. My class is not the only resources agents should rely on, but it offers insights that many other classes do not. I believe agents should continually invest in their education and stay up to date on industry changes and never stop learning. If you want to go deeper, my commercial insurance class gives you the tools to protect your clients and grow your book of business. You can find us at www.elevatedsuccessonline.com to sign up for classes or check out our latest blogs. You can also like, comment, or follow us here on YouTube, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well.